I mean, every human being wants some form of recognition for their hard work, and you're taught as a department supervisor to recognize early and often for all of the wonderful things that you see coming from an employee, fellow associates, and that's one of the strengths of this company, is the recognition for hard work and great results.
After 8 years in the U.S. Navy and 1 year in the Air Force, Tony Lemma joined the Home Depot in 1995 as a sales associate. He moved up the ranks to department supervisor, assistant store manager, district manager, and is now the regional vice president for New York Metro, Northern New Jersey, and parts of Connecticut. He's responsible for the operations of over 70 stores. Tony joins us now here at store 6844 in East Elmhurst, New York. Tony, thanks for joining us on Hiring America.
Thank you. Good morning.
Tell us about your transition out of the military and your path to a career here at the Home Depot.
Sure. I remember it vividly. I mean, I was nervous. I was very scared. I just spent 8 years in the United States Navy. I didn't have a college degree. I don't have a college degree today. And I was scared. I had a wife. We had a child. But I went through a transition program in the Navy where people would come in and talk to us about opportunities. And I met a friend of mine in the Navy who was active duty, who was also a part-timer at Home Depot. And he came to me, he was telling me how great this company was, how the culture is awesome and people treat you so good. And he thought that our skills in the Navy were transferable because they treat him so well there. So I decided to walk down the street to the Home Depot and I applied for a job.
And you received a job as a sales associate?
I did. I was hired as a sales associate, and as soon as I put on the Home Depot apron, I felt like I was family. I'll never forget it. My store manager walked up to me and he thanked me for my service in the United States Navy, and this is 20 years ago, and I was just a kid, and I was nervous. And he said, "I think you're going to do a wonderful job here." And I started to listen closely to my supervisors, and they put their arm around me, and they immediately showed me what the culture of Home Depot was all about.
When you got here, what skills did you identify that you could really see transferred well from your military experience?
Well, for one, in the military, you learn very quickly that you have to be a self-starter. So I was a self-starter. I knew I could be on time. I knew how to respect people. I knew when you speak to someone, you look them in the eye. These are the soft skills that you need in customer service, in retail in general, so I knew I was going to be good at that. But then I wasn't positive about what I knew. Did I understand business? Did I understand retail? But what I learned very quickly at Home Depot is the culture is so important. It didn't necessarily matter how much I knew. It mattered how I treated people and how I lived the values of the company. As I started to learn the values and learn the culture, that's when I started to see things happen for me in my career.
Did you ever think when you started as a sales associate that you would become a leader here at the Home Depot?
Yes, I was surprised, and still today sometimes it's a little overwhelming for me to realize that I was a sales associate 20 years ago, literally making an hourly wage cutting keys for customers. I thought I was going to be the greatest key cutter in the world, and today I'm a regional vice president. And as I think back, it really comes down to, as I said, treating people with respect, understanding the importance of building relationships, listening to your supervisors and learning and self-educating and trying to learn your job. And eventually, you become an ambassador for the Home Depot and the Home Depot culture, and you start to see your career grow.
Take us through the process, starting out as a sales associate to where you are today.
Really, again, it goes back to excellent customer service. I mean, what I found early on is that my leaders wanted me to be good to people, whether it was good to my peers, like fellow associates I was working with. They were looking for you to truly live the values and be somebody that supported someone else. And that's something I learned in the military. I mean, you don't do anything alone in the military. You need your partners, you need your comrades. So that was something that was transferable for me. I understood the importance of teamwork, and quickly understood that customers wanted to be taken care of, and really Home Depot provided a platform for me to excel.
We'll be back with more from the Home Depot after the break.
I served in the U.S. Navy as a radar operator aboard the attack carrier Saratoga. Had an opportunity to do a variety of jobs, so one of them was flying. I was a structure line worker. After 9/11, I was injured, and I decided I wanted to have a life. I came to Home Depot not knowing, just seeking a job. But once I found out what this family was all about, I realized that it's more than just a job. What they give you is a sense of belonging, a sense of desire to help you and your family. One of the things that most people don't realize when they see a Navy ship is they just see a gray hull. But that gray hull, inside, is a family, a community focused on one task, and that task is to serve. When people walk into Home Depot, they may see an orange apron, but behind that orange apron is a staff that is committed to excellence, customer service, but most of all, a commitment to the employees and the community as a whole. It's going to the schools and helping kids build things. It's going to a recreational center and planting trees. A lot of times we can give, service via merchandise, but when you give of your heart through the associates, that's always remembered and appreciated beyond the sale. For my fellow veterans, I want you to give the family of the Home Depot a try. You won't regret it.
Tony, have you had the opportunity to work with other military veterans at the Home Depot?
I have. Throughout 20 years at Home Depot, I've worked with associates who were active duty and reserve, and today there are vice presidents in our company like me who are also former military, Marines and Navy, Air Force members.
Can you talk about some of your personal experiences with the Home Depot's ongoing commitment to give back to the community and our nation's veterans?
Yes, we are fully committed to our communities. It's one of our greatest values. We have an associate-led volunteer program where all of our associates around the country have an opportunity to volunteer to be a part of what we call Team Depot in their store. And this is a group of associates that go out and serve their community. This year, 25,000 associates have volunteered their time to take care of veteran homes.
Living and working in this area, you saw, unfortunately, firsthand how devastated the region was by Superstorm Sandy. Can you talk about how your associates came together to help those impacted?
Yeah, 2012 was a tough year when Sandy hit. It was unprecedented. This storm really devastated all of the Jersey coast. It devastated Long Island. It affected our stores, it affected our communities, and it affected our associates. After the storm, the Home Depot stepped up and dedicated $1 million to the relief efforts from Superstorm Sandy. Many of our associates were personally impacted, and still, even though their homes were flooded out and their families were there in a tough situation, they still stepped up and went out and helped neighbors with Team Depot. And they were working in their own communities, and you could see them supporting their neighbors. And it was just an incredible effort and a great example of how Home Depot and Team Depot gives back.
Tony, you mentioned working at the Home Depot is like being part of a family. Give us an example.
It is. So there are a lot of great examples, but one recently around the holidays. I had a holiday party and I invited all of my regional team and my district managers, and really they gave me a gift that was very emotional. They actually got my parents on the phone and on FaceTime, and they put together this framed apron like the one I'm wearing, very decorative with my parents' name, and they mounted a letter that they wrote to my parents thanking them for being such good parents and producing a guy that, in their words, they love, and I became a great boss to them. And I don't think that there's any greater gift that you can give a parent. And my parents were both in tears.
How did it make you feel?
Incredibly humble. It makes me grateful that I chose to start a career with Home Depot.
Tony, what advice would you give to a veteran transitioning out of the military and interested in a job here at the Home Depot?
Number one, don't sell yourself short, because no matter what you did in the armed forces, you have transferable skills. As long as you're a self-starter, you come to Home Depot, you understand the values, you understand the importance of taking care of people and excellent customer service, you have an opportunity. Sky's the limit at Home Depot.
For job seekers interested in a career at the Home Depot, where can they go for more information?
It's simple. Just go to homedepot.com, click on careers. And I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys come apply at Home Depot, put the orange apron on, and be a part of living our culture at Home Depot.
Tony, thanks for joining us here on Hiring America.
Thank you.